Welcome to Web Design 101. Before we start this video, make sure you have your learning log open or a place to keep notes. As we'll be going through here, I'll have you write down some things, and it's always good to take notes as I'm teaching so that you can better remember what I'm going over. So you go ahead and pause your video if you need to, but just write down in your learning log your definition of web design. If you were going to define it in a dictionary, how would you write it in your own words? Okay, the first concept I want to go over is something we've probably already known for a while, is what WWW stands for. It stands for World Wide Web. Okay, now we know that, but what does that really mean? Okay, it means that through the internet, through internet websites, we can connect to anywhere in the world. You can go to websites that somebody made over in Europe. They can go to yours. You can create in this class. It's a network that allows us to view websites from all over the world. And it's really, in the last 20, 30 years, websites, the internet have really changed almost every aspect of our lives. Okay, usually in class, what we do is you would turn and talk to your neighbor about these two things. What I want you to do is just write down one way the internet has made the world better and one way maybe the internet has made the world worse. So go ahead and take a minute, write those things down. It's always good to think about the impact of certain technologies in our lives. Here's a video that talks about a website called Kiva, and it's definitely changing the world. So watch this video, then afterwards I'll just ask you to write down the basics of the video.
There's a new sunrise for every sun setting. I started at the beginning. Your life is waiting on you to be ready.
Everybody is smiling. They are not wearing. That is the impact the lack of finance has brought to the community. It has brought unity. It has brought life to the community.
You started at the beginning.
Awesome. So basically what that website shows is an organization that is trying to bring money to those who need it. And instead of just donating and doing charity work, how it works is if you went onto their website, and feel free to go and check it out. It's a really awesome website, well designed and well put together. Anybody from around the world can donate $25 to their cause, and it goes to buy food, cattle, sewing machines, as you saw, and then people around the world who don't have access to banks, they can then use that money to buy things to start their businesses. And as soon as their businesses get up and running, they then pay you back that $25. But you can do more than $25, but $25 is their minimum. So I just want your vision to be enlightened by the different kinds of websites that can be created once you understand these basic skills, and you can really have a huge impact on the world just off of creating a website. Okay. Another key concept is about web browsers. This is what I always show my class to introduce web browsers. So here in this picture, we see the four main web browsers. There's other web browsers, but these are the four main ones. Chrome, the leader, definitely in my opinion, the best web browser that we have. This is Mozilla Firefox. This is Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge, what we have on our school computers here. And then this is Safari, which is only really available on Apple products. So Chrome, the leader, says, what are we? And Mozilla Firefox and Safari answers back, browsers. What do we want it? Fast internet, fast internet. When do we want it? Browsers. So sometimes certain browsers go a little bit slower than others. So just a funny little slide to show different ones. But what does a browser do? What a web browser does, all these 4 different things do the same thing, just have different qualities and characteristics. What they do is they translate a text document or an HTML document, and they allow you to browse it as a web page. They allow you to browse it as a web page. How awesome is that? So I'm going to give a little demonstration right now about what I am talking about, okay? So here you'll see a text document, and you don't really understand HTML yet, but what this is HTML code, HTML tags, and if I do things correctly, this will turn into a web page. So I go to my file where this is located. This is the text document, and now if I open it correctly, I open it with Google Chrome, a web browser, or I could do Firefox, or I could do Microsoft Edge. But Google Chrome's, again, in my opinion, the best. So I'm going to open in Google Chrome, and there is my website. Nothing fancy, not very well designed or put together, but this is something I just made a while ago. So what a web browser does, it allows you to take this. There's no pictures, there's no real colors. I mean, there's the word color, but Google Chrome is able to translate this language into the website that you see behind you. Okay, so that's what a web browser does. It's the translator. It's the way that we view things that we wouldn't be. This doesn't look like a website at all. So basically, it's a translator. Moving on, it's another very simple but important concept: the difference between a web page versus a website. So if you just have the one web page, some websites today are just having the one web page, and versus website. Website would be a fully functional, multi-paged website. So web page, you're talking about a single page. Website, you're talking about a fully functioning, usually a multi-paged website. Next, just to make sure you understand what HTML is. Hypertext markup language. That's what it's an acronym, HTML. And what does that mean? It's a language that allows text to be read by a web browser. Okay, so back to my example here. This document is full of HTML. It's not English. There are some English words, but a lot of people who have not taken this class or learned these principles would not understand what is going on here. It looks like almost like Chinese. But for someone like you who is starting to understand the basics of HTML, you're understanding that this language is able to be read by a browser. And that's what we're learning first in this class, is how to write HTML. Last but not least, I want to make sure that you understand that what W3 Schools is. It's really a great resource in this class to help you learn the concepts, your new best friend. And let me just give a quick demonstration of that website. You just type in W3 Schools. It's always the first one that pops up. And it teaches you a lot more than HTML, but that's HTML and CSS. That's mostly what we'll focus on in this class. So learn HTML, and then over here is all the different HTML tags and different principles that you can learn. So let's say you wanted to learn how to put a table inside your website. Click right here on tables. Here's an example. You can click on try it yourself. And then you can kind of play around with it a little bit. Then you can hit run, and then you can see how it changes, so on and so forth. So there's lots of really great resources. It explains it really well. So if you ever want to do something on your website, you can always do more on your assignments and things that you'll do in this class. I'm never going to be like, hey, you're not supposed to go ahead and learn other things. No, I want you to go ahead. I want you to try these things out. Because that's what's fun about this class, is really whatever you want to do with your websites, you can figure it out and you can do it. There's definitely minimum requirements, but if you want to figure out more advanced features and get it on there, then let's do it. Okay, so that finishes my lesson on Web Design 101. hopefully enjoyed it, and you can always come back and rewatch this if you ever need to. But this will be